2 days later I came home from work to find vomit throughout the house. At first I thought it was Kyle. It seemed his style, but then I saw my dog in my bedroom throwing up. I got really worried and rushed her to the vet. I texted my roommates to ask what happened, and one texted back saying Kyle woke up and found dry spaghetti noodles all over the floor. I told the vet and they said she was probably just dehydrated. They did some tests, and ended up pumping some water into the back of her neck to help her rehydrate. They said she'd look like a camel with the bump for a while, but that it would go down and she would be fine. I brought her back home and found the vomit still there, so I cleaned it up. I went to the others and asked who the hell left a box of spaghetti open, where my dog could reach it. Kyle said he had left the pantry cabinet door open, but it wasn't his fault, my dog was so badly trained. I immediately knew he was full of bull. Our pantry door closes automatically, and the only way my dog could have gotten in there was if it was propped open. I said as much, and he said maybe I deserve my dog getting sick since I wasn't a good dog parent. I effing lost it. I ran forward to punch him, but was stopped by my 2 roommates, who told him to take a walk so they could talk to me. As soon as he left I told them I wanted him gone. He was a disgusting slob who did nothing for himself, or the house, and hadn't even paid rent. He harassed the girlfriend earlier, and now it seems like he poisoned my dog. They agreed with me that he needed to leave. My roommate who brought him here apologized about ever bringing him into our lives. We settled on him having until the end of the month to get TF out, and that he still owed us rent. My roommate in charge of the money offered to tell him, and I agreed. Only the next day, that very same roommate asked for us all to gather to talk to him, just to find out he did not stick to the plan. Apparently Kyle gave him a whole sob story, so he told him he could stay for an entire extra month after the end of this one, and he didn't have to pay any rent for past or present time he stayed here. I was so angry I burst out laughing. Like, I couldn't breathe type laughing. I told him absolutely not. The only reason I agreed to let this guy stay here was so I could have a break on rent for a while. Now, thanks to him I owe hundreds of dollars in vet fees, and gained my own kind of trauma from dealing with his sorry butt. I am not okay at all with allowing him to stay longer than ever agreed upon. Plus I'd have to pay a regular amount of rent while dealing with his bull? No, not happening. My roommate turned to the other one, hoping he would back him up, but he just agreed with me. He said he regretted ever bringing the idea of letting Kyle move in up, and he should have been kicked out a long time ago. The only reason he thought it was a good idea from the start was for the lower rent cost for a bit. I told my roommate he needed to either go back and tell him the actual deal, or he'd be paying for Kyle's portion of rent on top of his own, because I would only be sending him the amount we agreed to when Kyle moved in. He tried to argue with us, saying it wasn't fair to place him in such a bad position. I told him, you did it to yourself for falling for a sob story from a manipulator who literally harassed your girlfriend. He told us once again the entire situation was unfair. I told him, I absolutely agree. So not only will I only pay the agreed upon amount, but I will be minusing the cost of the vet bill as well from my rent, since you clearly want to help this man with his financial issues so badly. I just got up and left. My other roommate shrugged, apologized again, and walked away too. When rent time came I ended up paying him only the agreed upon amount, not minus the vet bill, as I thought that was going too far. I wrote a note and attached it to Kyle's curtain that he has only 7 more days to leave or he'd find all his stuff on a curb outside. 3 days later the guy finally left. None of us have interacted with one another since. We're all still pissed at each other and I don't know if that's ever gonna change.